Okay, so the first question I have for you is, have you had any negative experiences in the healthcare system with regards to your sexuality? And why was it a bad experience? And what would you like to change?
Hmm. Well, so it was like 2 years ago, I'd say, and I was at the health unit for a pap test. So I went into that room where they ask you questions before you actually go have the test done,
Hmm.
and the woman sat down and started talking and asking questions about my history.
Right.
And I was always just remember her saying, "And how many men have you slept with?"
Ooh.
And it just took me off guard because I was at the health unit and I always thought they represent itself as a safe place and super accepting of the LGBTQ community. So that totally made me feel uncomfortable. And I answered, "Well, I sleep with women." And I feel like I shouldn't have been put in a place where I had to tell her my sexual preference.
No.
And it made me feel so uncomfortable. When the question should have really been, how many men or women have you slept with?
Right.
And not just assumed I was straight. I also remember her asking me, "Do you use protection?" After I told her I slept with women, and I totally just stared at her. Don't get me wrong, I've had a positive experience with the healthcare professionals regarding my sexuality, but I just feel like not everybody has adapted yet.
Okay, so the last question I have for you is, what suggestions can you give me as a future registered nurse to help make a strong connection and positive influence on the healthcare experience with an LGBTQ community?
Yeah, one thing is I pick up on nonverbal cues. I almost know right away how it's going to be by their body language and whether or not I'm going to feel comfortable disclosing something so personal in my life.
Right.
Also, not to assume someone's sexuality. That's a really big one.
Hmm.
That's such a huge assumption, and if you're wrong, it makes the patient feel super uncomfortable.
Well, of course.
Just having safe places for the LGBTQ community to go, the health unit is supposed to be. They just clearly don't always enforce it with their staff. It's also always nice to see lots of pride stickers to show that it's a safe place for everyone. I think just ensuring your staff are accepting and understanding of the policy, and maybe even training your staff in how to ask questions and don't assume someone's straight, and being compassionate and understanding. Like I said, the pride sticker and a certain body people's body language and people who take time to realize that everybody is different and that our sexuality is a huge part of our care.
Of course.
Yeah, and I just have one more thing to add. This may or may not have to do with your nursing class, but because it's a bigger problem than just the healthcare system, in schools, you only learn about heterosexual sex and how to use protection. They never teach you how to use protection or about safe sex if you're gay.
That's
And
so true.
that's a huge problem all in itself. So, hope that helped out a bit.
Oh, for sure. And thank you so much for giving us your input.